Okay, so I am your last barrier before lunch. I'd like to think of it as sort of helping everybody here work on their intermittent fasting. Could I get a show of hands? For how many people is this the first time that you have heard of lifestyle medicine as a medical specialty? Also, if I could get the slides up. Okay, so pretty much everyone has heard of lifestyle medicine. And again, how many clinicians are in the room? Okay, and how many researchers? Okay, and how many students? Okay, yeah, I guess we're all lifelong students, so yes. So let's see here. These are just four little things between now and lunch. So I'm going to try and go through them fairly quickly. The very first one is history. Actually, this is a very historic event. You're seated in this room and you're making history. To our knowledge, this is the first time that lifestyle medicine as a medical specialty has been represented in a formal event at the Indian Institute of Science, which again is a yes, that is a big milestone, big milestone. So as you know, this is an institute that's 115 years old. We are just about to open a medical school. And so to have lifestyle medicine be part and parcel of now what we're talking about is a very big milestone for not just the institute, but we think as well for the country. So the connection with longevity. This is a session that represents the holistic approach to health, but I'm going to be very reductionist. I've taken just one quote out of the book called Why We Die by the Nobel laureate Venki Ramakrishnan, which is this. Ironically, the very same advances in biology that are the basis of the anti-aging industry also thoroughly validate some age-old advice for living a long and healthy life: diet, exercise, and sleep. These remedies currently work better than any anti-aging medicine on the market, cost nothing, and have no side effects. On the left there, you see this is my lunch from the American College of Lifestyle Medicine conference. I think it's really important to try and connect what we're talking about to real life, everyday things. So that is the connection with longevity. I would like to just summarize lifestyle medicine in this way. These first six are the traditional six pillars of lifestyle medicine. This is what you will see from the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. As research has advanced and we have lifestyle medicine as a formal specialty is 20 years old, it just crossed 20 years last year. As we progress in the research, we have also added the final two, and instead of calling them pillars, I would like to think of them as elements, because pillars you think of as these individual kind of elements, but these 8 elements of lifestyle medicine, the way that I think about it is like a banyan tree, you know, where you have these are your main 6 here in the middle, surrounded by the effects of environment, and on the basis, the foundation for everything is purpose and meaning, and that their connection with universal human values. And we'll get a little bit more into that. So, it's always important to at least try and take away one thing from any conference, any session you attend, where you can literally go home today and make a difference in your life, in your work. And so with that, this is the first time that we are using this acronym called NEST Scope. And I would really like to thank, I don't know if that person is here, I don't know if that person is here in the audience. The last time I gave this talk and I presented all of this person, a clinician, came to me afterwards and said, hey, I noticed that as you put these elements of lifestyle medicine up, it actually spells this acronym. So this is a community effort wherever you are, but this is the way to remember all of the 8 elements of lifestyle medicine. So nutrition, again, whole food, plant-based predominant, exercise, sleep, the elimination of toxic substances, stress resilience, so tools for stress, positive social connections, purpose and meaning in life, and environment. And up there is a QR code that you'll see it a couple of times. That is for the Lifestyle Medicine India WhatsApp group. We will send out a ton of information, so you can feel free to join. All right. So I just wanted to highlight a couple of the elements of lifestyle medicine. You see, even in the morning sessions, just a few minutes, even in the morning sessions, you always hear the big four elements always referenced. What are those? Nutrition, sleep, exercise, and toxic substances. What is usually always absent from these discussions are some of the other elements, namely social connection, for example, and things like purpose and meaning. So I won't go through these. You can take a look and kind of see the studies yourself. This is really interesting. Strong sense of purpose was associated with a reduced risk of all-cause mortality, 15 to 20% lower risk of death during the study period. Again, purpose and meaning lies on a foundation of universal human values, things like love, gratitude, humility, forgiveness, kindness. Individuals who practice gratitude experience 10 to 20% better subjective sleep quality, higher levels of hope associated with 10 to 15% reduction in the risk of developing chronic conditions. And this is the one I'll spend a little bit of time on, good relationships. This study has been cited time and time again. It is considered the world's longest running study on happiness. This is the Harvard Study of Adult Development. And I will just read, this is a quote from the current director and the associate director of this study. Through all the years of studying these lives, again, this study started in 1938. So through all the years of studying these lives, one crucial factor stands out for the consistency and power of its ties to physical health, mental health, and longevity: good relationships. In fact, good relationships are significant enough that if we had to take all 84 years of the Harvard study and boil it down to a single principle for living, one life investment that is supported by similar findings across a wide variety of study, it would be this: good relationships keep us healthier and happier, period. And that, by the way, they did extremely detailed nutrition analysis, sleep analysis, exercise analysis. They boil it down to this one point. If you don't take anything else away, take that away. All right, so this is it. This is it, the final couple of seconds here. How to take this forward. Remember this nest scope, nutrition, exercise, sleep, elimination of toxic substances, stress resilience, connections, purpose and meaning, and finally, what is the last one? Environment. Okay, so whatever area you fall into, think about how to use Nestscope within your area. If you are in healthcare, for example, how do you address your patients looking at all of these elements? If you are part of a hospital administration, how do you design the hospital in a way that looks at all of these elements? There's so many examples we could go through. I'll leave it there. Industry, design thinking for your products. How many in here are entrepreneurs, startup founders? Okay, great. So when you're thinking about how to design things, for example, we know that there are many things on the market now, apps for type 2 diabetes reversal. The ones that I've seen very rarely, if ever, ask their users what things about social connections, things about loneliness, for example. You will rarely find this, and yet it plays such a tremendous role in health. Finally, research, not finally, there's three more after this. Research, just to give a quick example, I'm with the Junjunwala laboratory here at IISc. We have designed the country's first type 2 diabetes longitudinal study that will be looking at, in addition to many biochemical markers, 150 different lifestyle parameters that cut across all of those 8 elements. That's a perfect example that if you're part of a study, designing a study, think about Nest Scope and how you can address all of those things. Next, we have policymakers. Again, many, many examples. And I will just say this is not limited to government policymakers. Every one of you is a policymaker at home, at school, in your laboratories, in your offices. Just to give a very quick example, real life example, I was at a very excellent private hospital in Bangalore earlier this week. Right across from the pediatric ward was an outlet for a fast food chain. So think about the messaging, think about the policy that was put in place to create an outcome like that. Education, again, from primary school years all the way to postgraduate. How do you use nest scope, all of these elements to train, to educate, no matter how old the student is? And finally, just as human beings, thinking about our own lives. If you need to evaluate your own health, this is a perfect way to do it. Not just what did I eat, did I exercise, and did I sleep? Did I see my friends today? Am I feeling lonely today? Do I have the skills to cope with stress? How is my environment? So, a perfect way for you to think not just about yourself, but about if you're a granddaughter, how do you provide healthier outcomes for your grandparents, your parents? I'll end with a quick story. In that same private hospital, as I was waiting, I saw a neighbor from our building. And we immediately got to talking, and she said, Shayna, I have been gaining weight uncontrollably. I have seen so many doctors, nobody can explain. I'm back in the hospital now for more tests. And above anything, I have tried the nutrition, it has failed. I have tried exercise interventions, they have failed. I have tried everything. And above everything, I am simply depressed and sad. I think this is a story that we can all relate to. We've had it happen in our own lives. We know people that this has happened to. And again, this nest scope, this way holistically thinking of how health is, how to interact with friends and neighbors who are experiencing this kind of thing, what to ask them about, not simply nutrition, not simply exercise, not simply sleep. Are they lonely? Do they feel a disconnect from these universal human values of gratitude and kindness and forgiveness? So, with that, I will end with my gratitude to the entire Longevity India team. I won't go through all of the names. Also, big vote of gratitude. There's so many lifestyle medicine pioneers in this room today. Dr. Samuel, Dr. Herb were among the first to bring lifestyle medicine as a formal specialty to India. At CMC Vellore, they have a postgraduate program that trains. They also are training their MBBS students. We have so many lifestyle medicine as a specialty. Clinicians in India can become board certified in this, in addition to whatever your primary specialty is. And again, just gratitude. This is a beautiful quote from the Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh, just talking about the interconnectedness of everything. So gratitude to all of the seen and the unseen. And finally, thank you so much for myself. And that is the WhatsApp group. Most welcome to join. Thank you so much for all coming today.